Hello, welcome to part 2. This is Chasing Greater Gems. So in between part 1 and part 2, I tried to actually record, or start the recording of part 2. I got 4 packs open and the camera died and the video footage was lost. So I'll just review like what I thought was the kind of coolest hits from those 4. Got the Princess Leia, got this really neat C-3PO and R2-D2. Kind of cool art. And then we got, I thought this was kind of cool. This is Palpatine looking like Nightcrawler from X-Men. Shocking Luke. And then this one was kind of neat. I was like, oh, what is that? If you read on the back, it talks about how they printed these posters back in '76. And they were only 1,000 posters. They sold for $1 each. And at the printing of these cards, they say they're worth $400. You know, for the real poster, not for this reprint. But I was thinking, man, I wonder how much one of those things go for now. Like, it was $400 in '93. I can't imagine what fanboys like me would pay for those things now. They're probably really rare. Wonder how many actually survived if they only printed 1,000, if that's in the, you know, hundreds, or how many have actually survived that. But, so, as we go on, nice sand people. Darth Vader, Palpatine, Princess Leia, Luke, Han, and Chewie. No disintegrations. I think this is the first time we actually see Boba Fett. Got the Princess Leia, that's a dupe now. And that's a dupe, and oh, that's really cool. Got the Vader card. And that's actually, it's an art card for George Pratt. I gotta be careful. I want these corners to be pristine, because I do plan on sending a bunch of these in to get graded. So like I said before, I'm going to sleeve up all of these. That one's really cool. So Empire Strikes Back is my favorite growing up. It's still my favorite as an adult. I really enjoyed the Battle of Hoth, just the whole, I guess, setting of Hoth, if that makes any sense. Like the droids at first land and are spying on them, and then I really like the snowtroopers, the Imperial invasion. It's just so good. It's so good. I don't know. In my mind, I don't know if they can ever quite top that. Just the aesthetic value of the whole Hoth thing, I guess. The whole Hoth battle. The rebels being in the snow cave. The Tauntauns. It's just so good. So what is this? 140 card collection. Very cool. So I guess that gives you a rundown. I guess that's kind of like a brief summary of the same thing that those two collection cards had. And then Sand People. I actually really like that. I really like the Sand People, so that's gonna go right there. Let's go through some more. Every time I do this, I'm so worried that I'm gonna snip a card, but I don't know of a better way. I tried to open these. I think you would have realized, but now I was doing it on camera, and it's just with these old packs, I don't think it's something that's doable. Speak of the devil. Scout droids. That's really cool. That's really cool too. Leia. Oh, look at that. Han's got like a blaster. Oh, this is awesome. I was looking at the newest top cards that came out, or I don't know if they're newest at this point, but the 2019 top Galaxy set, and they actually have that C-3PO, and that's really cool. In like a refractor. I was actually looking at bidding on one on eBay. That's really cool. I'm just gonna say it again and again. That's really cool. That's really cool. He's looking more like Django with the coloring. Oh, the bad man himself. The Galaxy's best bounty hunter without a name. And then that same Italian poster. There's a bunch of these. I really like something different. That's the new too, is those 2019 set. They have like all these what do they call them? world posters. They're just posters from different countries. I was trying to get one. I actually purchased one from an eBay seller, and it turned out he had sold it. It was an accidental relisting, or he didn't want to sell it to me at the price that I bought it at. So I was like, oh, just send me if you have another world poster, I'll take that. And he said, oh, unfortunately, I do not. So I got a refund. But long story short, they have those really cool world posters. I think, is this a Jedi? Oh no, it's a creature. But I believe there is a Jedi of that creature. Those poster cards, like they have Brazil and France and all these really, I think Poland has a really cool one. I like the C-3PO. Eventually, I would like to acquire a good amount of those poster cards, just because in my mind they're really awesome. I could see this being an eater of my money, especially with all these Hoth cards. Like, I just like Hoth so much, it might get a little expensive if I try to grade them all. Pardon me, I'm trying to get like, what's that little piece of red paint fleck or something? Hopefully not from a card stuck to my hand. So I try to stick with my fingers to guide this. I can feel the tops of the cards. But if you've noticed, when I pull sometimes the cards out, like a couple of them, yeah, you can see it here. A couple of them sit higher than the others. So it kind of makes it a little bit dangerous to snip them. But I can't get those packs open otherwise. What was it? Hutt's Advisors. That's cool. Huh. Charlie Brown, perhaps? Connection of some sort? Or maybe he just likes to draw that way. C-3PO. The droid's looking real cool. Design of the original Han Solo. That is awesome. Look at the Luke's got freaking abs, man. That's pretty cool. So many of these are really cool. Obi-Wan. Another Hoth. And the same droids. Let me just leave that up. I'll turn around and take a look at what's on this. The Art of Star Wars. Japanese poster art. That is really cool. And that's, to me, these just the art cards. You can take a look at the process, I guess, of how they came up with these really, really iconic shots. Really, really iconic characters. Like Obi-Wan. Now, I always wonder, in my heart of hearts, in the scene where Obi-Wan is talking to Luke when they first kind of meet, and Luke just offhand says something like, oh, you fought in the Clone Wars? Or, no way, the Clone Wars? Or something like that. I wonder at all if Lucas had planned that as an avenue to expand, if he knew, you know, if it took off, that's something he wanted to do, or if that was literally just like a piece of dialogue that was added in there as, you know, kind of not filler, but, you know, a little cool saying that wasn't ever supposed to be expanded upon. I'm sure somebody knows that. If you know that, let me know in the comments. My Star Wars fanboyness doesn't extend that far, I guess. I was starting to watch, so the other day, last weekend, I went over to my brother's place. I took my girlfriend and we watched the Phantom Menace for the first time. Well, it was her first time, my bazillionth time. And we got it from, that's really cool, from Amazon. Oh, that's really cool. That's really neat. Coming May 26th, 1983 to your galaxy. Oh, Princess Leia art. Star Wars. Oh, speak of the devil. Hopefully this is another one of the movie posters. But as I was saying, we were watching this, and the video was like 4 hours long. The movie was 4 hours long. And we were like, how can a movie be 4 hours? This movie be 4 hours long? I thought it was maybe 2 hours. And we get through with it, was about 2 hours. And then there was the extra 2 hours were like the extended scenes where they went to, was it Skywalker Ranch, and they were talking with George Lucas, and they had like an art director from the movie itself talking about their like 3-second, I think it was like art process. If they couldn't figure out what was going on in the art in 3 seconds, then it wasn't good enough. You should be able to like instantly look at it and just be like, boom, this is the direction it's flying, this is what it does, you know, like it should be self-explanatory. And I realized like each of the movies, because I bought all of them in like the digital form, I realized I was probably going to spend a lot of time watching these. Even if I'm not the biggest fan of some of the movies, like it's just such an iconic piece of my childhood that I will definitely end up watching most of those. Oh, tell me that does not look like the X-Men character. Tell me that. I don't know. I think Palpatine, I'm kind of like crossed up here. Like, I really liked the Palpatine, the original one that got edited out, where he had like chimpanzee eyes. I think it's a hologram or hologram message that Vader is talking to, and the Emperor looks really evil, really messed up. And later, when they made the remakes, not remakes, but I guess the digital special editions, when they made the special editions, they edited back in for continuity purposes the newer Emperor to make it, you know, make sense why it didn't make a whole lot of sense why the Emperor looked like it did, and then all of a sudden he looks like he does now. But I don't know, I really enjoyed the way he looked right there. If you've ever haven't seen it, I'm sure you can Google it and it'll be on YouTube or something like that. Oh, looks like we have a crimping error in there. That's kind of a bummer, but I don't think, unlike Pokemon, crimping error cards are going to be sought after in this. I don't think error cards are going to be the thing. With these art cards, it's probably going to be all or nothing. Try and go for a 10 or a 9.5. I'm thinking C or SGC for these. Oh, that's cool. That's neat. Getting some duplicates, some triplicates. I've seen some videos where people open these and they're extremely sticky. And they have a hard time getting these things apart. So I'm counting my lucky stars right now that I'm not encountering like cards that are stuck together so horribly that they're damaging each other or damaging a card, pulling it apart. These old packs like this, 1993. There's a good chance. Like that's the thing with the top Pokemon cards. You get like top series 1, top series 2. Those cards are just stuck together so horribly. You end up, even if you pull them apart, you get like this residue in between or where the cards are touching. It really becomes a problem if you're chasing those graded gems. I think most people, when they send cards, myself included, I'm definitely not special, a little bit hope in their hearts of hearts that they'll get better grades than they end up with, especially nowadays when CGC is so brutal. It's kind of deflating almost when you get your cards back. It's just so many 8.5. You get an 8.5. I'll be back 1 second. I gotta grab some more card sleeves. I got a bunch of them. I did not realize how many I would eat through for this. Some more packs of card sleeves. Should have done some mental math beforehand. Jawa's in space? That's kind of interesting. Ooh, that's cool. That's very cool. So is that. Nice. Fortuna. Ah, that's what I'm looking for. Like that. There's so many in there. And that group right there that'll definitely get rated. Ah, the Wookiee, if you notice, the Chewbacca has a crimping. I wonder if I could get an error grade on that. wonder if anybody has ever tried to get an error grade on a Star Wars card. That guy's really neat. Take a look at that. Dark Empire. Han. Oh, look, IG-88. Dengar, Boba, or, yeah, Boba. For some reason that sounds wrong. So this is from Dark Horse Comics. Oh yeah, right up there. Dark Horse. That's really cool. Character card here. I'm not 100% sure. Oh, very cool. Gamorrean. So that originally they were supposed to be thin, slender like that, but they ended up a little bit more beefy. I wonder if that's because of the, I mean, back in those days, everything was practical. So I wonder if there's a limitation with the actual costume itself that would end up looking bizarre. Like these arms are thinner really than like a human. You'd have to have a very, very thin person pull that off. And then have to wear like a big belly. I guess maybe you could find like a very thin alcoholic. Get like a belly on him. Actually, I really like that too. Like so many of them, I just keep putting cards over other cards. That's a problem. Now this guy I think is just a regular, yeah, this is like the artist cards. It's really cool though. But that will not take his place. Now of course, anything with Boba Fett on it is going to get graded in the end. Stealth Freeze? Brian Stealth Freeze? Oh, B. So maybe there's alternate arts. Alt arts. Maybe I get a little more lucky with the alt arts in this than I got the alt arts in Pokemon. My alt art luck in Pokemon is pretty slim. I managed to grab 2 of the Eevee Heroes alt arts for the Glaceon and the Vaporeon, Wookiee family. But that is it. Like in any of the other sets, I have not touched an alt art. Oh, I stand corrected. I do have a Japanese. It's actually out for grading. I think that's Crumb is his name. Japanese Galarian Moltres, like the black one where he's got his wings spread. I have one of those. So maybe I'm not as unlucky as I'm claiming to be, but it always feels like when you're chasing those alt arts, it's just 1 in a million chance. I'm sure it's better than that, but you know the feeling, unless you're very lucky. And in your case, good for you. Why don't you send some of that, bottle it up and send it my way. I wonder if this is supposed to be Luke or just any rebel pilot. Doesn't really say. I'm not reading those in their entirety. I'm just skimming it. Nice Princess Leia. An A, so I wonder if there's an alt art of that as well. And then Crumb. Do you remember Crumb? Go all the way back to Jabba's palace, and he's sitting on Jabba's shoulder, and he's like, laughing. B. I like Crumb. That was actually one of my favorite characters as a kid. I used to imitate his laugh when he'd come on. And I think, if I remember right, in the old VHS, where there's a set of 3 tapes, for those of us old enough to remember VHS, there's a set of 3 tapes, and those tapes had like I don't remember if it's the beginning or the end, but they had like some behind the scenes footage, and they actually had Crumb, and he was like sitting there talking to the camera, and he goes, "Hello from TV World," or something like that. And I did not remember that until right now. That is the beauty of memory. Imperial Guards, Princess Leia with her hair down. Oh, nice. Movie poster. Star Wars. The Art of Star Wars. Oh, looks like a Japanese poster. That's a medical droid. We saw him with Luke's hand. The Emperor. Palpatine. Who shot first? Who shot first? Well, see, look, his blaster's up here. So either he shot, completely missed, and raised his blaster, and then Han got him, or maybe the official story is a cover-up. Han might have shot first. Could that be? I don't know. I don't know. Star Wars conspiracy going on. There's the Yoda, I think. The other one was Yoda. Yoda as Gremlin. He does kind of look like a gremlin. I guess with the holidays over, no need to watch that movie again. Definitely a Han shot first piece of evidence. If that was admissible in court, I think Greedo's family might be able to chase him. Liability. Emperor Palpatine looking evil. Princess Leia looking washed out, very, very washed out. I wonder if these cards have been sealed, so there's no way that's sun damage, but that's kind of unexpected how washed out that is. Imperial Guard. Medical droid goes in here. It's really cool. All right, let's do some more. I hope in the coming years that Star Wars kind of reclaims some of its, I guess, dignity back after those kind of terrible movies. The Mandalorian and kind of makes me hopeful. I don't know about the story, or what's it, Fett, Story of Fett? I don't know. I haven't watched it. I've heard mixed things about it. I do intend to watch it at some point. But right now, I think I've mentioned this before on my channel, that I'm actually a graduate student. So right now it's in between semesters, but I don't have a whole lot of time during the semesters to consume media. So I'm making up for lost time right now of opening this. And if my posting gets pretty irregular during the semester, which I think starts next week, I do know it starts on the 10th. That's the reason why, because I got things to do. I also will probably be a little bit more on the poor side during the semester, so during a break I get to work more and kind of build up a little bit of a nest egg, and then spend it all as I toil away over the books. Oh, there's that Dark Horse comic again. I swear the light looks... I don't know if it's because the sun coming through. Here. Sorry. I'm gonna turn the lights on right here. I realized I didn't have the light on. If that... You can see here, there's a little bit of a ding on that corner. So that's nice too, is that if I get multiple copies, I get to fulfill my... I don't know if it's OCD or... my love for sifting through things and studying them. I think most card collectors can relate to that. I don't know, maybe some card collectors really just enjoy having it done, but I definitely enjoy the process. Look at each card, take a loop. There's a tip for you. If you don't have one, get a lighted loop and a nice strong LED light. I have like a wand light, I don't know if you'd call it, and you can really get up close and personal with the cards, sort them into piles that you think are more likely to get a higher grade, less likely to get a higher grade, and then go from those, or before that, like take a look at prices, sold as prices with different grading agencies, and then make your decision based on that, like which ones are actually more valuable. And I would say for collectors, if you're just starting out, don't always grade based on value of sold items. I mean, if you like something, don't let the sold, like recently sold on eBay, like conflict with what it is you like. That's cool. 'Cause there's so many times that I've actually now liked something, Vader, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna go with this. For instance, I have a bunch of Hypno cards. I bought some Hypno cards from different eras when they were cheap or cheaper. Like I remember paying $20, $30 for a PSA 10 because they weren't the most popular cards in the world, and the same cards now are worth at least $100. Some of them are worth more, especially some of the hollows. And that's, to me, ooh, a little scandalous, Star Wars. What are you doing? That guy is definitely getting graded. A little booty shot going on there. Yeah, like I was saying. And the thing is, I had bought them personally just because I enjoyed them. And I had multiple copies of them because I would want to buy, I'll buy this 10, it's only $20. I buy this 10, it's only $20. And then later down the road, things took off. I was actually able to offload some of those to people who enjoy them as well at a pretty good profit. And I don't think I would have done that if I had just followed trends. What's expensive now? What's expensive now? I don't think that would have actually led to any success. Sometimes you just gotta go with what you feel like is enjoyable. She looks almost like she's in a morgue. Oh, that's cool. The Sand Trooper. Mothma? The Guardian. Ooh, speeder bikes. That was such a cool scene. They also look extremely dangerous. Art of Star Wars. Art of Star Wars, that's a cool one. And this one again. I really like the Tauntauns and Hoth. I don't know if I told you that. So, like I said, all these cards with like Hoth art will definitely cut into my budget a little bit. That's a rough thing too right now with grading being so expensive. To be a hypocrite about what I just said, I've stopped grading some of the stuff I would usually. I'd be like, oh, I like this card, I'm gonna grade it for my personal collection. Even if it costs, like $10, $5 to grade, it's worth it because it goes into my collection. But at $30 a card for either SGC or CGC, I think it's $22 if you go with the bulk discount, and you're able to send 50 cards, which is not cheap in and of itself. You got to be real careful about what you're spending your money on. You are dropping, quite a bit of money. So even though I say, oh, grade what you like, collect what you like right now, I'd say buy raw cards what you like because the prices are coming down, and sit on it for a little while because at some point PSA will open back up, or SGC and CGC will reduce their prices, hopefully, knock on wood, and we'll be back in business. Like, people will be able to enjoy grading as part of the hobby instead of it being such a gamble, a high dollar gamble. That's what I feel like it's become nowadays. Most people are speculating with their grading, and I think to some degree that kind of ruins the fun of it. I mean, I get it. I do it as well. I'm not above it. There's like a little, do you see that? Can the camera pick this up? There's like, I thought maybe I'd spit, but I don't think so. There's like a little bubble right there. Just the tiniest bubble. Trying to carefully set this in there to keep those corners minty fresh. This is a cool one that I believe is Vader's TIE Fighter. Pretty darn sure. Yeah, Vader's TIE Fighter. The Rancor, if you were ever into the extended universe for Star Wars, you ever read anything about the Rancor, that was actually, I believe, a gift from Bib Fortuna to Jabba. And the guy who, if you remember when Luke throws a skull and it hits the door and that causes the door to come down, that's actually, in the extended universe, there's a story of whose skull that is and who the guy that comes in and cries is. He's like, ooh, because his baby just got killed, which is the Rancor. Ooh, scandalous booty card again. And like all that was like fleshed out and explained in the extended universe. I'm sure that is all no longer canon because Disney decided to rewrite a bunch of that. But it was fun while it lasted. It really was. So that the guy who cries is supposed to be a like a circus handler, or I believe it's like it's actually called like the Galactic Circus or something, where they go around with very dangerous creatures. And Jabba got the Rancor as a gift so he can toss people into his Rancor pit, which is supposed to be a sign of him being a high-ranking boss, you know, big money creature. Takes money to acquire it, takes money to keep it alive. And so he propositioned the guy who's supposed to be one of the best animal handlers to come live in his palace and take care of his creature. And the guy is kind of like, I guess, the Steve Irwin of very dangerous creatures. And he moved the light over so maybe we can get a little more light in here. The Steve Irwin of dangerous creatures. And so he loves, I guess Steve Irwin is the Steve Irwin in dangerous creatures, but he's a handler, and he loves the guy, I was gonna say the guy, but the Rancor a lot. And so it was like devastating for him when there's their Death Star. It was devastating when it ended up dying. Jabba, his head looks different in that. Hey, another movie poster perhaps? Oh, I see foil. The Art of Star Wars. I see foil. Luke. Oh, that's cool. And what do we get? C-3PO and a Wookiee. Yes, that's cool. I wonder if there's only one per box. That's kind of a bummer. I will make a point to pick up more of these. I'm sure I'll include them in my mail day videos. I'm gonna try and buy good, decent, I guess, copies of all the foil cards. I think, as you can see here, there's like part of an elbow or an arm or someone's head, and how this X-Wing is going off the scene. I think, if I'm not mistaken, that you can actually like tile all the foil cards together and make like a big poster-ish thing going on, which I wonder, see, that's the thing when you have cards like that, or like the Pokemon split cards, like they had Lugia, the Ho-Oh in the older cards, and then with the newer cards you have Greninja and Mewtwo. Those, they call them V-Union, slightly different gimmick, but essentially it's the same thing where you combine them all. Like, if you grade those, it's so weird because when you set them together, you have like a border in the SGC slab, or you at least have like a clear kind of like ridge in between them in the PSA slabs. And aesthetically, I wish there was a way you could do that so you didn't end up with that. Droids, Palpatine, Leia again, Art, Emperor. I'm gonna speed up a little bit now, so I can see that we're like 34 minutes into this. I think the other one was 20 minutes, and this is gonna be, I still have a nice little stack there to do. Maybe I should cut this down and make it a three-parter, but we're gonna go and see. If it does get too unwieldy, we can do that. I'm trying to take special care. I said, when like with the Pokemon, you have rounded corners, so not that you shouldn't be quite careful. You should definitely be careful because graders will look at those corners very, very carefully, but they won't catch as hard when you put them in here. If you have these cornered cards like sports cards, when you slide them into your plastic, you could actually damage that corner. That is kind of an effeminate looking androgynous Luke. Poster art. Vader. Chewie. Is it supposed to be Boba Fett riding a snake? That's interesting. Hey, speak of the devil, the Rancor. This is the scene. If that's Luke, he throws the thing. And, oh, look! Another Rancor. A similar scene. I wonder if that's just purely coincidental or they stuck those in there together because they're, like, similarly themed. So, I wonder if I want to get a binder. I'm not big on binder collections. I don't know why. I don't have any binders. And I think when I was little, the first time I got Pokemon cards, I did make a binder. And lo and behold, that binder was stolen. It was stowed away in middle school. And since then, never been a big binder guy. I don't think it's because it was stolen, but always wanted to keep the cards in better care than that. But with these, I don't think a lot of these are going to be worth a whole lot, and it would just be cool to be able to flip through them and look at them like art cards. Effeminate Luke. What do you guys think of binder collections? Do you think they're worth it? I see a lot, like if you go to Reddit, you check up on the Reddit posts. If you follow like our Pokemon and some of the other Reddit groups, there's a lot of binder collections. I even saw one the other day that was talking about how you can make a binder collection of top-loaded cards. If you use like photo albums, there's like some specific photo album you can get pretty cheap, I guess, on Amazon. I'm not trying to sell it. I have no idea the specifics of it, but you could slide the whole top-loaded card in there, like the sides of a photo, and it would hold. I was like, oh, that actually appeals to me more than the loose card binders. And I know binders are notorious for damaging cards, especially through ring binders. If you flip them over and you move them about, I've seen many examples personally. People who had these older cards in a binder from their childhood, and they go, oh man, I'd really like to pull those out and see if they can get graded. You pull them out and they have like creases kind of in the middle of them where there was like force applied to the sheet itself, if you think about it, and it gets pushed over and then it wants to bend in the middle, which is unfortunate. Princess Leia with her thermal detonator. Cantina band, Cantina band. AT Walker. Looks like maybe the Emperor's window, its palace, Star Destroyer. I wonder if that's supposed to be original IG-88. Yes. Design of IG-88. Interesting. Artwork of the battle to destroy the Death Star. Oh, that's cool. It's kind of weird and blurry, though. Art of Star Wars. More releases. Hey, there's Mr. George Lucas himself. George Lucas. It's a George Lucas card. Oh. I mean, the guy did come up with it. I've heard he didn't come up with everything. Some of the art, it wasn't necessarily his, but I mean, the guy did assemble a team of people who were dedicated enough to come up with art in a franchise that lasts, I guess you could say generations at this point. Multiple generations are born since then, and it's a lasting franchise, which I think is telling. Hopefully it continues. Like I said, with the disaster of some of those movies, I think they're going to slow roll some of these to make sure people are really wanting them. Hopefully that'll take the time to like have like a test audience and say, hey, how about this idea? Hopefully people will be honest and say, no, let's not do that. Go back to the drawing board, come up with something cooler. Oh, hopefully that's foil. I think I see foil. Iron core again. Oh, that's a neat one. I think I saw we had one of those. That's the TIE Fighter. Oh, it's definitely foil. What do we got foil-wise? Luke. That's cool. The foil I would want the most in my heart of hearts is actually the there's one with Vader. This might be actually Vader's cloak right there. Let's take a look at that. That is cool. That shows up. Right, that's neat. 3 of 6. So I have 2 of 6. That leaves me 4. Hopefully. Maybe they were really generous and gave 3 in a box. You could just 2 boxes and you have a good possibility of finishing it. But I doubt it. If there's 2 in a box, then you gotta buy at least 3 boxes. I'm sure with my luck, if I open another box, I'd end up with the exact same duplicates. So I will be chasing those as singles. This will probably be the only box of this I open up. Everything else will go to a sealed collection. Something to look at, show off. If I have a Star Wars geek friend over. The booty card. These away. I think, I don't know. So like, I'm judging for myself right now. I know it's taken quite a while. Like this is gonna be over an hour, probably when all is said and done. No, it's definitely over an hour now. With the videos combined, and I think a lot of it has to do with the fact I'm sleeving them all. And I'm wondering if I get other cards that are have packs like this, like if I get some Fleer Marvel packs. I have some Marvel cards from back in the day. I think it would be cool to do that. Would, if I want to keep them like pristine, you know, I want to sleeve everything, and I don't like the idea of anything with a corner, like a card with a corner sitting on it. Even a playmat like this, like if the corner drags, like boom, you're you know, toast when it comes to grading. Things not pristine. Like, but, oh, pardon me. If I want this to speed up, I think I really do have to involve someone else. It'll be a 2-man crew. At least get someone else to grade some of these, or to sleeve some of these while I hold them. I've gone through like so many of these at this point. I think this is the most cards I've ever sleeved in one go like this. I guess like with Pokemon, you know, like you don't sleeve up the commons and uncommons, and a lot of times you don't sleeve up your holo rares, at least with the modern cards. So those openings go relatively fast. You know, I just open those things up, boom, 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 boom. Ah, disappointment. Boom, 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 boom. Awesome. But with these, and with anything that's older, you kind of want to sleeve up everything. And I wonder if there is a population of these. I'll have to check. PSA and SGC have pop reports for like what they've graded. There's actually like a graded population for these 93 Star Wars. Crumb. Leia. If you notice, these actually kind of have a bend to them. They're kind of bent slightly. I think it's not bent in a way that it's like noticeable where there's a crease. It's just slightly bowed, so not really bent. But hope that is not a sign that there was a lot of moisture in these packs. So that could cause delamination. That would be a bummer. Handy dandy pack of these. Chrome. R2. You know, R2 is really like the unsung hero of Star Wars. Think about all the things he did to keep the storyline going, saving people's lives. He is definitely. I was noticing that in Phantom Menace when I was watching that. There's a portion where R2 ends up fixing the ship they're on. So that I was like, man, R2 really from the get-go has been saving their butts. Luke, very colorful Luke. That's cool. Seen that. Dupes, triples, quadruples. I'm gonna do what I said I didn't want to do. I'm just gonna breeze through these, and then I'll just sleeve them up afterwards. Try and be very careful, because these are all dupes at this point. Bib Fortuna. Oh, that's not a duplicate. That's cool. And final pack. Let's see some foil. I would be like shocked if there was foil. No, I think it's the last card. Is the foil card, which is kind of dangerous because that means that it is exposed to the wrapper as it moves around through the ages. A card like this is like 93. That's a lot of moving around. Even if it's inside the box still, it's still shifted. All right. So I want to display to show the two foil cards, which are do not link, I don't think. Let's see how these things link. But we got Luke, we got Chewie, and C-3PO. And this has been Chasing Greater Gems. I know this has been a longer one. Until next time.